we're going to take a little bit of a look at the OCG metagame because something very important and very interesting has happened this last month, and that is the OCG has received the TCG pack, basically. The OCG has received a pack. I forgot the name of it, but there was a there's always a pack where I think they get it once a year in like September, where they get all of the TCG exclusive archetypes. And that this year, of course, includes Mitsurugi. And so this is the first OCG metagame report, I think, after Mitsurugi released, alongside the other archetypes, of course, but there isn't really anything. Oh, there's Odeon here. Why is Odeon called? Is Odeon called Rashid in the in the Japanese version of the anime? Yes. Okay. So actually, correction. It's not just Mitsurugi. We also have the man over here, Odeon, making quite the impact on the OCG metagame. So I want to take a look at what that looks like and what kind of decks they're playing now that Mitsurugi is out there, and how that's shifted their format. So as you can see, Mitsurugi is in the top spot. Whether that is new toy syndrome or whether it's actually the best deck remains to be seen. But it does make some sense because one of the two top decks beforehand, I believe, were Yami and Malice. And Mitsurugi, in theory, can have a pretty solid matchup against both of these. You know, against Yami, we all know Habakiri is Murakumo, rather, is a menace against Yami, the Raigeki effect. And the against Malice, it's like, okay, Malice, even though they still have some extra deck tools in the OCG, they're still heavily hit in their consistency. And so playing a deck that has 3 Dominus Impulse against Malice is pretty solid. So Mitsurugi is well positioned in the format right now. And that's why it's the top performing deck this week, or this report, I guess. 15 Fiendsmith Mitsurugi, 10 Pure Mitsurugi, 6 Ryzeal Mitsurugi, and 2 Fiendsmith Ryzeal Mitsurugi. So far, basically all the normal stuff. They haven't quite reached Mitsurugi Yami territory yet, or Mitsurugi Malice, or Mitsurugi whatever Orcust that we are in the TCG already. At the moment, they're still keeping it kind of normal. You know, that's the kind of decks that we played when Mitsurugi came out. You know, but for now, at least in these tournaments, I've seen some people post on. Oh, actually, no, there is a Mitsurugi Yami down here, a singular one. One Mitsurugi Yami is down here. Is there an Orcust? 6 Mitsurugi. Oh, never mind. I lied. They're doing that already. Yeah, they're doing that. Okay. Me when I make things up. No, they're not. They're not behind. They're doing that already. Yeah. Okay. We have 8 Odeon or Rashid. We have 5 Primites, 1 Pure, 1 Grass Paleo Odeon. Let's go. 1 Kashtira. Let's see what they're doing with oh god. Oh my god. How many steps? A combo opening with Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi is as follows. And it does not fit onto one screen. Jesus Christ. Josh Pure Mitsu is fine. I mean, yeah, fair enough. This is including Fiendsmith, however. This is including Fiendsmith. Fiendsmith is making up a chunk of those, but yes, it's from what I'm gathering here, without reading every single one of these 24 steps, we are doing Mitsu combo. We are going through Fiendsmith to make Caesar. And we also make Gallant Granite to add Nibiru. And we play the trap and the main deck to set that too. And we end on IP. Yeah. So, well, the above combo is a showcase of a strictly 1-card opening with only Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi. For 2-card combos and any of the Mitsurugi ritual monsters or ritual spells, you would be able to finish with Futsu on your end board instead. Futsu would apply immense pressure on the opponent as it can special summon reptiles from your grave each time the opponent special summons. Caesar is highly impactful in the Mitsurugi mirror match. Negating the ritual spells would effectively cut off the opponent from their Mitsurugi ritual monsters. The minimal Fiendsmith package provides access to Caesar while still enabling Dominus Impulse to be played with reduced risk of conflict. Mitsurugi is rather resilient against many hand traps outside of Droll and Lockbird. Mitsurugi monsters are triggered when tributed, making infinite and permanent target monster effects negation not very effective. On the other hand, Dominus Impulse, Special Summon Effect negation is effective against Mitsurugi. Okay, yeah, we know that basically. Yeah. So they're playing pure Mitsurugi Ascent. I mean, it's not pure Mitsurugi, but they're playing like one Engraver, one Sanct, which is something that's been done in the TCG as well. I guess for the reasons that I said previously, they are still choosing to run Dominus Impulse even in the Fiendsmith version of this deck, right? Because if you look at this matchup spread, Dominus Impulse is a phenomenal card against the Mitsurugi Mirror. It's a phenomenal card against Malice. It is still pretty good against Yami, and it's also very good against Sky Striker, negating either linkage or negating Sky Striker A0's effect to tag out and pop. So all of these matchups, Dominus Impulse is really good against. And then the next up on the list, Impulse is still good. Like Orchist, Draco Tail, Impulse is still a really good card. So it makes sense that they're choosing to go Dominus Impulse here. And yeah, they're going pure Mitsurugi here in this instance, which, I mean, this is Fiendsmith Mitsurugi, but for all intents and purposes, I think this classifies as a pure Mitsurugi deck, kind of, because it's just two Fiendsmith cards, but it does combo differently, but yeah. Is this... Oh, this is the new board breaker, right? What was the name of this card again? This is like the one that like destroys your opponent's board and then revives one of their monsters, right? And so you don't trigger the graveyard effect. Illusion Gate. That card seems very good. Illusion Gate. Where's that in? When do we get that? So this card is pay half your life points, destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. Then you can special a monster from your opponent's grave to your field, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can only apply this effect once per duel. This card is crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, this card is a very, very strong board breaker. I'm actually surprised we're not seeing it like everywhere. Raigeki losing to Bell is kind of bad. I mean, you're saying this from the perspective of the current format where a lot of people are playing Bell, which is like, okay, sure, fair enough. If everyone is playing Bell, then you might consider not playing this card. But and Impulse. But still, like, this card is phenomenal, even if there is downsides to it or counters to it. There's definitely going to be formats where Bell or Impulse are not going to be as popular, and then this card is going to be insane. If you get Belled, you can still activate another one. Yeah, but I mean, that's hardly an argument because you're not going to have multiples very often. It still feels bad to have your key board breaker that would get rid of their entire board get negated by a ghost Bell, but yeah. Really good card though. I'm looking forward to when we get that card. It's basically an upgraded Raigeki, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's good. It's a thrust target as well, like yeah. I mean, like, it's also really good against Mitsurugi, right? Like, imagine stealing your opponent's Murakumo, and so they don't get to bring it back with prayers. And then if they try to do anything, you force them to discard with the Murakumo because it's not negated. It's not negated and it can attack and everything. So like you just steal their Murakumo and then they have to play against it and they can't revive it with their stuff. So it's awesome against Mitsu actually. It's a phenomenal card in the Mitsurugi matchup. Yeah. What's the current state of Yami in the OCG? Remind me again. They put Herald to 1, they put Snatchy to 2, and they put Obedience School to 0, right? So in the OCG at the moment, Yami is harder hit than in the TCG, right? They do play Savage and they play the Sorrow Cat to recycle the Herald of the Arclight. During the opponent's turn, they make... Okay, so they make the Savage on the opponent's turn, yeah. Yeah, they have Savage, which I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I understand that Savage makes sense with the Rocket cards getting support, but I don't know if it's a good idea to bring back Savage for us. I actually kind of hope they don't. Because who could have guessed they're not using it in... actually, his Burst Protocol is not out yet, right? Like, I can't make fun of the Rocket cards yet not being played because they don't even have them yet, right? I have to wait. I like him. I mean, I like Savage too. I think Savage is a cool card. I still think it's better off staying banned. Not out yet, yeah. Okay, but Yami still being able to perform with one Herald. Of course, we know that from the TCG, but double Snatchy is also something that will impact some of your games, I think. That is kind of painful sometimes. Malice is well positioned in the current metagame. Love to hear that, for being able to run Droll and Lockbird and Deck Lockdown to shut down Mitsurugi. Anti-Spell Fragrance and Dimensional Barrier are also seeing play in the side deck as a tech against Mitsurugi to hinder the Ritual Summon. Damn. That's awesome. One Dormouse. Is all they did to Malice Dormouse to 1? I'm just now realizing this. Apple gone. Okay, Apple gone is a requirement for the game to basically be playable, okay? That is not like, okay, yeah, Apple is banned, but like, come on, man. Dormouse at 1 is it? What the fuck? Huh? How did Malice get away with just Dormouse to 1? What the hell, man? Oh, God. They have 3 field spells? They have Link Decoder. They have Splash Mage. That's crazy. That is genuinely insane. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, shocker, I guess. Malice is still a deck then. Allure to 1. Dude, they're not even playing the 1 allure is the funniest thing. It's so dumb when they hit an optional card in the deck. It's like, oh yeah, some people are playing allure, some people aren't. Why don't we just put it to 1? When the card is clearly optional. I'm not like, it's not like, I don't think it's bad for allure to be limited. I just think it's bad if that's the only thing you're doing about the deck. But yeah, okay, I guess Malice has to be one of the best decks in the OCG still then. Yeah, sure. Sky Striker. As Mitsurugi becomes a top contender, many players will be running Droll and Lockbird in the main deck or side deck. This is going to be a problem for Sky Striker. Called by the Grave is now a mainstay in the main deck to negate Droll. Called by is also useful to banish Amino Murakumo from the graveyard to stop its special summon. To play around Droll and Lockbird, Radiant Typhoon Vision can be activated during the draw phase. Yeah, I mean, Sky Striker is going to struggle in this format. Sky Striker is going to struggle in this format due to a couple of things. But mainly, Droll and Lockbird is going to be far more popular. I mean, we're already seeing it creeping into main decks. It used to be not very popular in the OCG, I feel like. I feel like the last couple of OCG formats, you know, Yami, Draco Tail, and everything, I feel like there was not a lot of Droll running around, but right now, you can see almost everyone playing it. Even though for some reason they all love 2 Droll and Lockbirds in the main deck. That seems to be the perfect number. But yeah. Conclusion. The World Premiere Pack 2025 has a huge impact on the OCG format. Mitsurugi is a top contender from the get-go. We could expect to see more Droll and Lockbird. Primite Odeon victory in the recent YCS Lil has also inspired some players to explore the new Treasures of the Kings and app of his cards based. If you enjoy these weekly metagame reports, consider supporting Roto King on Patreon. Let's go. Dude, I'm still shocked by how many Malice cards they have. No, it's interesting to see Mitsurugi hit the OCG, and it's I guess somewhat cool to see that they are now in the position that we are usually in, right? Like usually we are getting these archetypes and we have a lot of data to look at from the OCG where we know how these decks are being played. And at the moment, it seems like, you know, OCG and TCG deck building are really not too different here because they are basically playing the deck in a very similar way than we played it in the TCG. So they are definitely taking a look at some of the things that the TCG is doing. You know, we're playing the same ratios for the Mitsurugi cards. We're playing the one of Nib. We're playing the 3 prayers, three thingies, the pre-prep, the 1 Magatama. Sometimes main deck the trap, sometimes side deck the trap. Like, it's a very similar looking build, just slightly adjusted to, of course, their format. You know, they're gonna play like the Maxi and the cards for the Maxi mini game with the Called by the Grave and so on and so forth. So that is that. What is Pot of Extravagance at in the OCG? It's at 1. Semide? Okay, at 2. Okay, I could still see some people playing the Extravagance over the Fiendsmith cards then for consistency, but we'll see. Imagine OCG players going through a Griff decklist video. Dude, that thought in my head is very funny to me. When they tried to decipher a Triff deck profile, that's awesome. When the 60 card Yami Mitsurugi, and they're watching it, they're like focusing on the card choices, and then they're like, why is there screaming? No Miracle Raven yet? Probably not. I mean, it is a TCG exclusive, so if it would be imported, it would be in the World Premiere pack, but I think it's too recent. But maybe. But I don't think it's out yet. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, OCG at the moment just feels like TCG plus Maxi with more powerful Malice, which are both things that I don't want. And Let's Draco Tail is like, what if trade offer, okay? Trade offer. You get more Malice, and then we take away Draco Tail for that. And you also have to play the Maxi minigame. What's your response? Hell nah is my response. That what they did to Draco Tail was criminal, actually. But Sky Striker is better. Sky Striker is putting up percentages there that I wouldn't expect, but I also think that is going to go down. At the same time, I would argue that Sky Striker is a pretty playable deck for us too, but people aren't really playing it because they're scared of A, droll, and B, time rules, which is fair enough when you're playing a board breaker deck like Sky Striker. I think the time rules are a concern. Camellia is not the problem, I don't think, personally. People are playing it. Yeah, people are definitely playing Sky Striker, but I'm just saying, like, compared to these numbers, right? Like, Sky Striker is not the 4th most played deck in the TCG right now. Definitely not. Or not, at least also not the 4th most, like, successful. Certainly not. Like, Sky Striker is more like in, like, maybe top 10 most played decks at the moment in the TCG. But the problem I don't think is Camellia. Like of course the new Link 1 here. Which one is it? This one. And the Camellia and those are like, they're good cards. They're being played for a reason, so the deck is a little bit stronger because of those, but at the same time, that's not what's holding it back, I don't think. But I still don't know why we haven't gotten it yet. The Link one is good. It is good. I forgot what it did. Dude, it was like what was it called? Someone knows the name. Amatsu. Sky Striker Amatsu. It is a Link 1 Dark, and it says you can only special summon it once per turn. When a monster your opponent controls with 2000 or more attack activates its effect. Quick effect, you can make that effect become destroy a Sky Striker Ace Link monster your opponent controls instead. When an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, you can target a Sky Striker Ace and a card your opponent controls destroys them. So like, it's a good card at playing into boards, because if your opponent has a big monster on the board, you can just make a Link 1 that kind of like checks that monster, right? Which is pretty solid. It's not going to come up every game, but when it does, it's pretty good. And it also has like a neat little removal effect, right? So it's a good card. They're definitely playing it for good reason. Also, they're playing 2 Kagaris, by the way. I said that at some point. I said that when I played Sky Striker. I said you probably don't need 3 Kagaris. I think that's also true in the TCG. You probably don't need 3 at the moment. Games are not long enough, and you can recycle them with Lemnis. But yeah, I do think this deck is neat. I do want to try it out more in the TCG as well, now that we also have the Radiant Typhoon spell. It's an awesome deck, but like even in the TCG, I think people are gonna play more Droll now. That I think in the beginning, everyone, including myself, didn't main deck Droll and Lockbird because we were all expecting, you know, Draco Tail, Yummy format. I mean, some Mitsu in there, which Droll would be good against, but like mainly Draco Tail and Yummy. And then what we got was Yummy, Mitsurugi, and Onomat, Ryzeal, and K9 Crystron. So I think people are going to probably resort to more Droll and Lockbirds. Which is going to be rough for Striker again. Limited SP. The limited SP is very funny to me. Every time I see it, yeah. Jack Sterling, thank you for the 24 months. Appreciate the 2 years of support. Also, PECX Sovan, thank you for the 33 months. Welcome back. What makes Striker good in your opinion? I think Striker is if you disregard the time rules, I think Striker is one of the best decks at going second. Which is nice. It's a nice quality for a deck if you genuinely don't really care if you lose the dice roll. Which is like Striker is one of the only decks where you can play it blind second, but you can also play it going first. And no matter what, like your deck works on an axis, that's gonna be fine either way. And if you build even if you build going first Sky Striker, like I'm looking at this list, right? I'm looking at this list and I have no idea whether they go first or second. Like they could be either, because it's honestly good at both. I would actually guess that this list is going first. But I also wouldn't be thinking they're crazy if they go second. It feels first with the Black Goat Laughs in the main deck and the absence of any hard board breakers like Raigeki in the main deck. So I feel like they're going first, but yeah. Why are they playing Mystical Space Typhoon? Okay, so they're playing Radiant Typhoon Vision, which is a quick play spell card from the new Radiant Typhoon archetype, which revolves around MST. And what this card does is it has 2 effects, and you can use each effect once per turn. So if you draw 2 Radiant Typhoon Visions, you can use both effects. One of the effects, which is the one that you usually want to use, is draw 2 cards and then discard a quick play spell. Or you can just search MST. And so they play 1 copy of MST just in case they need it for the spell. And if they draw 2, they can activate the second copy and search the MST. It's pretty good, actually. I like that package is very, very strong. And like the thing is, like Mystical Space Typhoon is not even a bad card in the current Yu-Gi-Oh! Like most decks don't play it because it's not worth the deck slot. But if you actually end up having it or the ability to search it, like you're gonna find uses for it. You know, like there's a bunch of decks that have field spells. There's a bunch of decks that use spell trap cards to make their end board more layered. You know, like it's a good card against Draco Tail. It's a solid card against Yummy, because you can either hit the field spells when they try to extend with them. You can hit the set surprise. You can hit set imperm. Like it has value, right? It's just that in most other Yu-Gi-Oh decks, you would rather just play more engine or more impactful non-engine. But in a deck that has use for a 1 of MST, it's definitely a good card. Is Cosmic as searchable as MST? I mean, they both used to be completely unsearchable, I think, except for like generic searchers. The only archetype that can search MST now is the Radiant Typhoon, and there's no archetype around Cosmic Cyclone yet. Maybe that's the next one they'll do, but I kind of doubt it. I don't think they're gonna make a Cosmic Cyclone archetype. So no, Cosmic Cyclone is not as searchable as MST. And I guess in some cases in this deck in particular, they are playing 1 copy of Area Zero. So if you happen to draw Area Zero plus MST, that's your way to Ray. You can play then, right? You could pop your own Area Zero and then play. Radiant Typhoon, by the way, is a deck that has a very fun gameplay loop. I noticed this. I played a couple of Genesis games with Radiant Typhoon, and it was pretty fun. I like Radiant Typhoon. I mean, I don't think it's a surprise because it does feel like a deck that I would like. Activate a bunch of spell cards, get a bunch of card advantage, mix it with runics.